I'm here in Kenya to uncover the shocking truth behind the donkey skin trade.
Over 1,000 donkeys have been stolen.
Appears to be a large-scale slaughterhouse, carcasses of animals that have been slaughtered and their meat stripped off the bones.
Vital for the livelihoods of working communities, if the illegal slaughter is not stopped, it's predicted that Africa will lose half of its population of donkeys by 2040.
It's an existential threat to our species.
Kama nimepoteza watoto wangu.
She shouldn't have to suffer so that somebody else can gain.
Smuggled out of Africa, the skins are processed in China on an industrial scale, boiled down to produce a gelatin-like substance called Ejiao. Used in the manufacture of skin care and food supplements, these products are shipped legally around the world at a premium.
Donkeys, to us in Africa, are not simply donkeys. They are livelihoods.
Sababu kupoteza punda nilikuwa naona ni kama uhai wangu umekata.
The donkey skin trade consumes 7 million skins per year, and with only 44 million donkeys on the planet, there's less than a decade to stamp out the problem.
I think it's a story that the world hasn't known. They need to know how these animals are sourced.
So I've just arrived to Kenya, and first things first, I'm going to go visit a couple who have had their donkeys stolen. That's Sylvester and Veronica. They're from a working community, they're farmers, and they have been victims of the donkey skin trade. Sylvester and Veronica grow corn, and like millions of others, they rely on their donkeys to fetch water, working alongside them to keep their family going. Hello, Sylvester.
Hello.
Hi,
Yeah.
I'm Scott.
Fine.
Nice to meet you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm Sylvester. I'm Teti Kitema.
Hi, Sylvester. This is your donkey and your
Yeah,
wife?
this is my donkey.
Ah,
Yeah.
hello. Hi, I'm Scott.
Yes.
Hi, Veronica. And who's this? What's your donkey's name? Does she have a he have a
Donkey
name?
name is Kijana.
Kajana.
Kajana.
Hi, Kajana. He looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
Now, I understand that he's a replacement donkey and that recently you lost your 2 donkeys. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Pia kama saa 5 hivi ya usiku tukielekea saa 6 donkeys hakuna. I met them somewhere. Nikawapata mahali sikiwa simekatakata miguu na sikachinjwa. Poteza punda nilikuwa naona ni kama uhai wangu umekatwa.
Can you explain what they went through?
Kichwa ikiwa juu ndio akafungia huko juu, alafu miguu ndio alichukua akaanza kukatakata.
So what you're saying is that their legs were amputated while they were still alive?
Hata wa sasa, hata nikiwa ninalala huwa nafikiria vile waliua hizo punda, naona kukata hizo punda mpaka chini.
What impact did it have to you and to your wife and to your family to lose the donkeys?
Yaani kifo ni kifo. Kifo ni kifo, lakini hiyo kifo mahali vile walifanyia unyama hizo punda zangu. Tulikaa sana tukiwa tunafikiria, tukiwa ni kama tulikuwa na kilio. Hata huyu ni kama presha yake ikakuwa juu. Sababu hakuwa anaongea huyu. Alianza kuongea tukipata hii ingine.
Veronica, why did you stop talking?
Kama nimepoteza watoto wangu. Sasa mzee na watoto ndio walikuwa wananiambia tu, tafadhali mama, akiwacha kufikiria punda, hata kukula ilikuwa inanishinda kabisa.
In Ades Formation, a local charity who worked with Sylvester heard their story and rehomed the couple a new donkey.
Hapo ndio nilirecover vizuri, nikakuwa na matumaini. Niliambiwa, nikakaa hapa kwa boma naangalia kwa barabara mpaka nikatoka hapa nikaenda hapo kwa barabara kuingojea hapo. Kiona naangalia iko na punda ndani, hakuna. Nikafurahi sana, nikacheka sana. Tukafurahia sana.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so good. Are you still fearful that someone might come and steal this donkey?
Huwa naipeleka mahali kwa dirisha yangu iko hapa hivi, nimejengea nikaweka stima hapo hivi. Mahali imemulikiwa na huwa nafunga na kufuli. Na kuanga macho sana.
What would you like to say to the people that stole your donkey and to the people that are encouraging the trade in donkey skin and Ejiao?
Wale wabaya ni hao watu wa China wananunua. Wakiangaliwa wafuatwe sana wakikomesha hiyo kununua hizi ngozi. Hizi punda haziwezi zikaibiwa.
Meeting Sylvester and Veronica and hearing their story, I mean, I was trying to hold back the tears. It was just heartbreaking to hear. These are poor people that live hand to mouth. And so the donkey isn't just a working animal for them, although that's incredibly important. It's a member of the family. And the way that they spoke about like it was losing a child, yeah, it was awful. This hard-working woman stopped talking for months. Just makes me so angry. It's just disgusting. And this is happening on an industrial scale across Kenya. People having their hearts broken, having their livelihoods shattered for this awful donkey skin trade. It's brutal. And this is just one story, one family being impacted by the industrial scale of the donkey skin trade. So I just want to learn more and understand not only why it's happening, but how we can stop it.
Hearing the story is one thing, but now I feel I need to see it with my own eyes. I'm here with the charity The Brooke, a leading force in the fight against the donkey skin trade, and they've sent me a video to watch that shows what's really happening.
Under the cover of darkness, stolen donkeys are herded into remote bushes and fields. They are slaughtered and skinned for the lucrative donkey skin trade. These illegal operations leave behind carcasses and bones hidden from authorities but visible by dawn. Fields strewn with carcasses and bones are a haunting reminder of the night's slaughter.
Wow. That's a really hard watch. Yeah, I think any animal lover would be horrified by that. I wanted to watch this footage because I really wanted to understand exactly what happens and to see it all with my eyes open. There's a donkey. These animals are dying in excruciating pain to make a product that's consumed by the wealthy is just despicable. There's no humanity here. This is the definition of greed. No wonder Veronica stopped talking for months.
For 4 years, Brooke campaigned tirelessly to make donkey slaughter illegal in Kenya, successfully lobbying the government to shut down slaughterhouses. But as I learned yesterday, the trade hasn't ended. It's just gone underground. So I'm meeting Dr. Raphael Kinoti, vet and regional director of Brooke East Africa, to understand what's really happening and why, despite the ban, donkeys are still disappearing.
So where are we today, Raphael?
This is Kikope, a famous meat market actually. They're supposed to be selling beef and mutton, but donkey eventually gets into the system.
So they might sell donkey meat here.
Unfortunately, because as you know, there's a donkey skin trade.
Yes.
Where the skin goes away.
Right.
Meat is more of a byproduct, but now the traders here got that as an opportunity where you strip all the meat and come and disguise it as mainly a beef.
I mean, I watched the video last night and it said that with all the lobbying that you've done with the Brooke, all the abattoirs are closed.
Abattoirs are closed, but we've always been suspecting that there are activities inside there at night. The local people have always told us that they have seen vehicles go in and out at night, commotion inside there. So we know there's activity there. That's how actually this meat really comes into outlets like this.
What do Kenyan people think? Like, do they know that they're eating donkey meat? Is that a active choice?
No. No, it's not an active choice, actually. Kenyans would not want to eat donkey meat. They don't want it completely. So it has to be disguised as beef.
Oh, so it's meat fraud.
That's where the problem is.
But how do they get away with getting the meat into the food chain?
An owner of an abattoir or a meat eatery like this gets a vet who has a stamp. They exchange some money. It's basically corruption. So it's unethical, completely unethical for a profession like my profession, a veterinarian, noble profession.
Our job is centered around animal welfare.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
But this sounds like a real public health issue. I mean, if they're slaughtering animals in the middle of nowhere or in abattoirs that are closed, refrigeration is not going to be a thing. So surely that's massively impactful on the people that eat it.
The donkey has 16 zoonoses, diseases that can pass from humans to the donkey itself and vice versa. And this is what we're exposing our communities to here. Look at a disease like anthrax, for example. If you have one of these animals that has anthrax and it comes into the value chain here, then you're into big, big problems. Then on the other hand, you're exposing the poor donkey into untold welfare challenges. That's where the problem is. So it's a double tragedy to the donkey itself, to the humans themselves.
Now, you mentioned that abattoirs are closed.
Yeah.
Can we maybe go and see one?
We can actually go and see it, but I'll just give a warning, it's very, very dangerous. Abattoirs were closed by the Kenyan government. Any of the operations they're doing there is illegal. And so it can be dangerous. You can be attacked. So we may have to drive past it and just see where it is. And actually, you'll be able to see the path that leads to the slaughterhouse is used. It's very, very suspect.
All right. So should we jump in the car then?
Yes, let's do.
In just 2.5 years of these slaughterhouses being open, over 300,000 donkeys were killed, wiping out more than 15% of Kenya's donkey population to fuel the skin trade. It's suspected that many of these abattoirs are still in operation. So how dangerous is this place? Are the people armed that run it?
It's really dangerous. Actually, a couple of months ago, a journalist was captured by the owners of the slaughterhouse and locked in. It took our intervention with the police to come and get her out. But that was not before 8 hours and lapsed, actually. So it can be fairly dangerous.
So it just goes to show these are serious criminals that mean business.
What actually makes it very serious is the money involved.
Yeah.
That's what emboldens them. They know they can almost always bribe their way through anything. You know, a donkey skin is a fortune. When it gets to China, here the donkey skin is nothing.
Do you know how much they are worth in China?
Lots of unconfirmed reports, potentially 300,000 Kenyan shillings out of one donkey. If you compare that with a donkey here that will go for 5,000 shillings, 7,000 shillings, a full donkey.
Wow.
So the difference is unfathomable.
There's so much profit in
So
that
much
chain.
profit in the
that
chain.
Everyone's got money to bribe, to buy guns, to intimidate people, to buy people off.
That's the thing.
That's why they want to continue with the trade. And what proof do you have that it is still being used?
The local people tell us that they're seeing lorries go in and out. You get one informer who tells you, actually, we go in there and they bring in skins.
It's incredible that the local community members are risking everything to act as informers, helping the charity track and stop the trade. I don't know if it's possible, but if I can, I'd like to meet one and hear their story.
Yeah, this is the one that is in use. This gate here is the one that's mainly in use.
There was a motorbike parked there. You look at how many security cameras there is as well. Why would there be all these security cameras on a dilapidated, disused building?
Everywhere. They have security cameras everywhere.
There's one there.
Yeah, they keep maintaining those actually. So why? Those cameras are under serious surveillance. And we know this because we've ever gotten some motorbike guys to come and pass by there several times. And by the fourth time, he was stopped and asked, well, what are you up to? You've passed here 4 times. So those cameras have someone who is manning them from in.
All security cameras up there for a building that looks derelict. It's very suspect.
Yeah.
And I would say that just looking as a bit of a sleuth, you can see that all those tracks are very well trodden. They've been driven over. They're fresh. This is not a place that's not seen human habitation for a while. This looks like it's been used yesterday.
That's very suspect. It puts a question there.
After 2 drive-bys, it's getting too risky, so we head somewhere safer. There's still so much I want to understand and ask Dr. Raphael. So that's a horrifying sight, the abattoir still in use despite all your lobbying efforts. This trade's pretty horrendous, isn't it?
It is completely horrendous. Donkeys have been in Africa for thousands of years. There is no single recorded history where they have faced such a big, horrendous threat to their existence. This is the first time it's happening in the history of mankind.
From what we've seen today, the meat's a byproduct. The trade is driven by the skins for Ejiao. Can you talk to me a little bit about that product, what it's used for?
Ejiao is a big story because then it's part of the traditional Chinese medicine. It has been used in China for thousands of years. The belief is actually you consume Ejiao, then it boosts your blood, boosts your immunity, boosts your libido. You look younger, That's why actually it's used to make a lot of women's skin products. There's a belief that actually donkeys don't easily get old and donkeys are so resilient. It's all faith. This is skin. We know what skin is. It's pure protein. You are vet.
Yes.
You know that.
Yeah, so you're saying that there isn't any active ingredient in the gelatin produced from donkey skin that would do anything miraculous?
Nothing. China, beyond 1996, having the highest population of donkeys in the world. Today, Chinese donkeys have plummeted.
Right.
They have barely 1 million donkeys.
So now they're looking to gain donkeys elsewhere.
So that's why Africa is being impacted. Then Kenya, then one of the ones that had a significant population. So where do you get donkeys to slaughter? They have to be stolen. That's why actually 95% of the donkeys in this trade are stolen. 95% of them. It's an existential threat to our species. That's where we are. And that's why actually this is very, very critical.
And from the poorest communities, it just feels it's like anti-Robin Hood, where they're stealing from the poor to give to the rich.
Exactly. You can imagine a rich person enjoying Ejiao either in a candy or in some drink or in some lotion, very costly product, from a donkey that has been stolen from the poorest woman in Africa. The only thing that the woman had to get them out of poverty.
Yeah.
Is
Sick.
No, it's sickening. Yeah. But then also horrific welfare. One of the stories that has not been told properly is what these donkeys have to go through before they are slaughtered. Probably a donkey stolen like 400 kilometers away, walked for days and months, if it's lucky, put on a truck for days and months without food, without water. Can you imagine? Then it comes into some bush and is killed in the most inhumane way. Completely inhumane. You can imagine the whole of that process only to produce Ejiao for the rich.
When you put it like that, it's just like, I think if the world's community knew this was happening, any animal lover in the world would be horrified.
I think it's a story that the world hasn't known. I think the consumers of Ejiao all over the world need to hear this.
Yeah.
They need to know how these animals are sourced.
In 1993, China banned the trade in rhino horn, also used in traditional medicine, despite having no proven benefit. It helped pull rhinos back from the brink. I can't help but feel the same action is needed now for donkeys, before these animals vanish from the African continent. I want to know how widespread this trade really is, so I'm doing a quick search to see if it's for sale back home in the UK.
Yeah, it's just going to have a quick look on Amazon, just see what's going on. Ejiao, Ejiao. Right. Oh my gosh. Ejiao cake Chinese pastry with donkey hide in it. Wow, expensive, £28.99. Wow, for a cake. Ejiao powder. Looks like it might be present in tea as well. Takes a few weeks to arrive, but I can get it delivered to my home address. It is so disappointing to be able to see that we can search for and buy Ejiao-based products really easily in the UK. It just shows that the international community is allowing this trade to continue. Products like this that impact so heavily on working communities here in Africa are consumed in first world countries and allowed to do so. After meeting Dr. Raphael and being shocked to learn that abattoirs are still operating illegally, I want to find out what's being done at a local level. I'm in Kitui town to meet the Minister for Agriculture, Dr. Stephen Mabaya Kimwale. Good morning, Minister. Hi. I'm Dr. Scott. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, Dr. Scott.
Thank you.
Welcome, Dr. Stephen.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Have a seat.
Thank you so I'm in the area working with some local groups who are combating the donkey skin trade. And I just wondered what the Ministry of Agriculture here in Kitui was doing to try and stamp it out.
One of the core functions of the ministry is the welfare of animals. I've volunteered myself to fight the illegal donkey bush slaughter. We engaged the security agents, the Kenya police, the chiefs, the national government administration, and also the community. And we formed a rapid team. Whenever we heard of illegal bush donkey slaughter, we immediately rushed there. So the donkeys, I called the police. Most of the time, we're able to apprehend the culprits. And from these efforts, I can say we have been able to reduce the incidences of donkey slaughter in the bush. This year, from January to July, I think I have less than even 1 or 2 incidents of donkey slaughter. But last year, the reports of donkey slaughters were reported every month. So I'm calling upon other counties in Kenya, and let's work together. You can learn from what I've done here in Kitui. I've gone out of my way to wake up at midnight to personally to arrest these people and take them to the police. And I've appeared in court to witness these people being charged. That shows the level of commitment I have towards this. So the same level of commitment you're asking counterparts, let's join hands, let's support this. It's a very dear cause. We'll continue and passionately fight for its success.
I mean, it's so impressive what you've done. You seem very engaged with this issue. Is there a reason for that?
My mom is a peasant farmer. Here in Ukambani and Kitui in Kenya, we have shortage of water. And we trek long distance from home to the river. It's around 12 kilometers. Wow. Therefore, my mom, whenever we went to fetch water, she used to put you on top of the donkey because of the distance. And from that, I grew a lot of passion. The donkeys, to us, that is not even a domestic. It's a pet for us. And I have a message to those people who are involved in this illegal business. You get to know that donkeys are very important animals to us as the people. And it contributes a lot to welfare and livelihood of people. It has eased the burden of women. It has enabled students to go to school. And therefore, anyone who is encouraging the donkey skin trade is doing injustice to us. And we, where we are in Kenya, will not support it. And will fight anyone who is in that trade.
What an inspiring man. I mean, I don't think I've ever met a government official with more passion and conviction on a specific issue. And to know that his influence has led to a massive reduction in the donkey slaughter here in Kitui County. But just, it felt amazing to be with someone who has worked his way up from a peasant farming setting to being the Minister of Agriculture and really leading from the front when it comes to the fight against this awful donkey skin trade.
Donkeys are a lifeline for women in Kenya. So when they're stolen or killed, it's women who suffer most. I'm traveling to Kakulolo, that's become a hotspot for the illegal trade, to meet a group of women who've come together in the face of adversity. I'm here alongside Cindy, Fundraising and Communications Manager at Brooke, East Africa, who works closely with local communities to champion women's voices.
Josephine, is it okay if we sit with you and the ladies and you share your stories with us?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome at Kakululo. This is group. The name Wendoaka Women Group, Kakululo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you.
Since the trade started in 2016, this group of 30 women have come together to support those that have had their donkeys stolen.
So that was more than half of the group. I just wonder what the impact has been on you as women working hard in your communities.
Ilengo iga kwa kia ngeiwe inethiwe na thina mwingi ngoni tondu ni ndiwa na ciana iga ciutsoma ouni itatu nataba kibuna yo na ngutaba kithanga thi nundu wothomethia ciana ciakwa na ci itatu na mbito gwacia kana na koma kiruguya na nino kiene thila we gutume wonse.
I'm so sorry. I just want to know, what would you like to say to the people that stole your donkey?
Nitonya kwacia andu acio maturie mang'au nundu ni thana thina mwingi muno kou andu acio ndici nitonya mekanda nundu thana wesongi.
I suppose all I can say is I'm sorry that you're going through this, because it's horrendous. Especially as they probably realise that their donkeys have died in an awful way, and the products that they're making are for wealthy people.
And luxury products, actually. It's such a shame that for somebody to get comfort, a family has to get discomfort. Her pain is very palpable. I can identify as a mom, and I would be terrified and heartbroken if I wasn't able to provide for my child. Even if you look around, just her sharing her story, everyone is tearing up because everybody identifies with what she's going through. And I think that's what makes this group very special.
Yes.
That they relate through emotion,
Yeah.
the highs and the lows, and they come together for each other. Again, she shouldn't have to suffer so that somebody else can gain.
I just wondered if anyone else wanted to share their story.
Mzee wako etiwe last year wakatatu na kumage after 2 weeks na ngewe ngoi na ngewe ngoi kina kande tatia
mundu mutumia iwa waye na kila na ngei mama ngwetu no na hangu kuaka mutungi kala kalite kumikonda ba na tukiuna ko na nengane indi nyini wa ga wa
na ina ngewe ngoi na kia thimono ya thinzi wa bakuve mundu anandia za kwa na saa ingine kwa kangi nyini ra ne bukatikate ne yomisi boke yomisi kweli ndiye na matethecio.
You know, you work so hard and you're so respectable, and yet people are taking that from you.
Despite the efforts of involving law enforcement, of getting a continental-wide ban, we still have illegal slaughter in the bush happening to the most vulnerable communities. So it's a story that you hear all the time, but it's still very heartbreaking because it's a story that shouldn't happen.
That was just so powerful to listen to those women's stories and hear how impactful the donkey skin trade has been on them individually and as a community was heartbreaking. These are truly strong, inspiring women, and it's really driven home that these donkeys mean the world to these communities. It's not just an animal. Sadly for these women, they've lost their donkeys, but actually there isn't the number of donkeys here in Africa to replace them. So once they've lost this critical member of their family, unfortunately for many of them, there's no going back.
Sisi kama Wakenya tungane tujenge nchi kwa kuwatunza punda daima tuwalinde na tusiwa.
If nothing is done, by 2040, Africa will have lost half of its donkey population. It's hard to fathom that within a life of a Kenyan child, they could witness the extinction of donkeys. Today, I'm meeting 13-year-old Rahima, a member of the Donkey Care Club, funded by the Brooke, to educate children on the care of donkeys and the donkey skin trade, to encourage the community across generations to take action.
Hi, Rahima.
Hi, Scott.
How are you, my friend? You okay? You're living the dream.
Yeah.
Everything good?
Very good. Welcome to Long Rush Primary School.
Thank you. It's so lovely, isn't it? So
you
nice.
Like school?
You like school, you like education. That's always good. And looks like you've got some lovely donkeys to care for today as well.
Yeah.
And in here somewhere is the esteemed Donkey Care Club. Are you going to show me around?
For sure.
Okay, should we go?
I've always loved donkeys. Donkeys are in my blood. Animals are in my heart.
Yes.
I don't know how I can explain it, but I love nature.
I know. You sound like me when I was your age. I was obsessed with animals and nature. That was all I lived for. So they made my heart feel full.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
So these are Donkey Care Club members.
Ah,
the
very
one
good.
who helps me spread the love of donkeys in our nation.
Ah, very good. You know what the Swahili word for donkey is? Punda. Is that right?
Yay! Donkeys are a lifeline here in Kenya, helping families earn enough money to pay for their children's education. Rahima walks over an hour each day to get to class, and this evening she's invited me to meet her family and the donkeys that help make school possible.
Can I come in?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome to our home.
Thank you, sweetheart. What are your donkeys' names?
I have Pendu,
Pendu,
Jabba,
Jabba,
and Toto.
and Toto.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. You got 3 donkeys. Lucky you. Ah, they're gorgeous. Hello, sir. Hi, I'm Scott. Hi, nice to meet you. Who is this gentleman?
He's my great-grandfather.
Your great-grandfather. Wow,
Yeah.
nice to meet you. What's his name?
Francis.
Francis. Nice to meet you, Francis. And then, so these are your donkeys.
Yeah. Just about to take them out.
Great. Oh, wow, they look very healthy, Rahima. You're doing a good job with them.
When Jabba sees a rope, he hates walking. He just becomes so lazy.
Oh, really? So not a very good working donkey then?
Yeah. Don't be so lazy. Same for our walk.
lazy. There we go. Go on. Go on. Oh, there's some lovely green grass for you, Sue. Hi, Pendu. A beautiful girl. We're going to go and give you some lovely grass to eat. Come on. Shall we go?
Yes, Toto.
There we go. You knew what grass meant. Good. Oh, wow. Wow. It's a very beautiful place you live, Rahima. What's the mountain called?
It's called Mount Longonot.
Longonot.
Yeah. It's a volcanic mountain.
Oh, no! We've lost him.
They have seen the green grass, of course.
Wow, they weren't very lazy then, were they? They're off. They're enjoying the wilds of Africa.
I think they just saw the other animals. Probably they wanted to socialize with them.
There they are, Rahima. Look, they found some friends as well.
Yeah.
Why do you love donkeys so much?
I love their tail.
You love their tail.
And actually, its skin. I see the beautiful nature around me.
So what have you learnt at your donkey care club?
I've learned that donkeys are very important in our lives as human. And also donkeys also have feelings. I always see our donkey care club teacher. I feel like what she was saying was like a song. I see her and remember, give the donkey good food, keep the donkey in a clean place, keep the donkey in a safe place, look after the donkey. So I always see her and remember the good things that she teaches us about donkey.
You must be very proud of your great-granddaughter because she shows great dedication towards donkeys.
Yeah, nampenda sana kwa sababu aninifundisha kitu nimekijua.
Now, what have you learned about the donkey skin trade?
Hurting donkeys is a very painful deed. Actually, when I watch news and see that donkeys have been slaughtered and taken for people to eat, actually, almost tears coming. Killing a donkey, of all the animals, no, that's not good. I could make sure that person rots in jail. Yeah.
Now, I've met some very impressive people here in Kenya, people that are working to fight against the donkey skin trade.
Mm-hmm.
Very educated, intelligent people who have started from places like this and worked their way up into places where they're in authority and they can tell people that these are the wrong things to do. Do you feel that maybe you're one of those people in the future?
Stealing our donkeys when I'm around here will not be a very easy job, because even the donkey owners in our area even respect me, because they know there's a little short girl in a certain school. If you dare steal any person's donkey, you are going to die for that. So they can never steal a donkey from around here.
Do you know what? I'm frightened of you. And I would never steal your donkey. So that is amazing.
I'm a donkey care club member. I make sure that all the donkeys are safe.
They'll be safe now to go to bed, hey?
Yeah.
We're trying to meet up with an informant for this region who helps the police and the government try and track down people that are in the donkey skin trade. He is just sort of playing cat and mouse, trying to find us in a place where there isn't eyes on. It is unbelievable that this guy even wants to talk to us because, you know, he's in quite a dangerous position as it is. But he wants to tell his story. He wants the world to know what's going on in his community, and he is putting himself at personal risk, not only to do the job, but to speak to us as well. We drive for many miles, heading out of town, following the informer to a remote site he wants to show me. A place known locally as Death Valley. This was once a major slaughter site where over 1,000 donkeys were killed and where he himself worked for 5 years. Now he's left the trade behind and is working with the Brooke to stop the illegal slaughter. To protect his identity, his words will be spoken by a translator.
Now, I know that you were part of the slaughter of the animals brought to this area. Can you just talk me through the process, how they were killed?
When the donkeys arrive, we used to stand them using an axe. We hit the head so that the donkey falls down. Then after hitting the head, we now do the slaughtering just the same way we slaughter cows. We make sure that all the skin is removed from the head mask to the feet. Then after removing the skins, we now separate the meat from the bones. Then load them into different cars.
Okay. You're a Kenyan. You're from a country that traditionally doesn't eat donkey meat and doesn't slaughter donkeys. How did it make you feel being part of it?
I really feel remorseful for actually being involved in the trade. Through that time, I never felt good. I really felt like I've done a big sin with slaughtering donkeys. We lie to people that it's beef, and I saw that's not fair.
Did you get pressured to do it, or was it just about the money?
I got involved because it had a lot of money. Usually, when I slaughter 8 donkeys per day, 4 times in a month, I'd get in a month an average of 25,000 Kenya shillings. And this is now the reason why everyone is getting involved in this business, because it's actually lucrative.
An average wage for a labourer in this area is 6,000 Kenyan shillings a month.
When did you decide to become an informer, and just how dangerous is it for you to take on that role?
I actually became an informant because I know that the business is not a good business and it's actually illegal to slaughter donkeys. I have actually been hated by the community because I have been spying on them. These guys are really dangerous. They either harm you or actually burn you or burn your car.
So if the international community was able to stop the donkey skin trade, in other words, stop the sale of Ejiao, do you think that the Kenyan people would be slaughtering donkeys still?
I see a future that the donkey slaughter will actually completely stop if the donkey skin trade is stopped internationally, because the main driver is donkey skin trade. And I'm praying to God to actually forgive me for doing that.
After meeting all the people that have lost donkeys and love donkeys as part of their family, to think that these poor animals are dragged this far into this remote location, exhausted, so tired, dehydrated, emaciated, and then endure a traumatic death where they're bludgeoned with an axe. It's just horrific. And that hoof is of a very small, almost certainly to be very young donkey. So it's a haunting place. I never thought it would be possible when I started making this documentary that I'd get to speak to someone who was actually involved in slaughtering donkeys, and it was a shocking conversation. Very brave man for talking to me, and also very regretful, because The unemployment rate here in Kenya is going through the roof. And at the same time, they're on really low incomes in areas like this. So a lot of the young people, particularly young men, don't have any other choice but to join the trade. And yet, he said very clearly that if the international community did not provide a market for Ejiao, the gelatin made from donkey skins, then there would be no slaughter here in Kenya at all. So I've learned so much on this journey so far. I think the key thing is that if there wasn't an international market for Ejiao, the donkey skin trade would end tomorrow here in Kenya. There's some brilliant work being done here on the ground in Kenya, particularly Kitui town, but it is just meaning that the problem is spreading outward. So for this to truly end here in Africa and surrounding countries, it needs to come from the international community. I know that the markets in the UK are very small compared to the consumption of Ejiao-based products in China, but if we can just get one of those countries to make a stand and ban the products, hopefully it will start a groundswell of pushback to this horrendous trade. And when, as a scientist, we know that donkey hide has no active ingredients or medicinal benefits whatsoever to any other type of gelatin, hopefully, like the rhino horn recently, it'll come off China's herbal medicine list, reducing the pressure on harvesting these animals. So I've got a bit of a list of people that I want to contact just to try and start to put some pressure on and try to encourage them at least to have a meeting to bring to the fore this issue and hopefully stop it from at least entering the UK. That would be a big start. My name is Dr. Scott Miller and I am an Australian veterinary surgeon working in London. Currently, I'm in Kenya. I've met many incredible people and organisations during my week here and have personally been exposed to the deep and significant impact that the illegal skin trade has had on animal welfare and working communities of Kenya. Currently, the trade, fueled by the Chinese production of the gelatin-like substance called Ejiao, is decimating populations of donkeys in Africa. Donkeys are vital for working families, helping them to earn money to send their children to school, collect water, and supporting women's health. Many women I've spoke to who have lost their animals spoke of extreme sorrow and the impact it had on their physical and mental health, many clearly stating, "I became the donkey." Running water is not common in rural areas and can mean up to a 12-kilometre walk to attain it. With water barrels being up to 40 kilograms each, if a family loses a donkey, it falls to the women to carry the water. There is no time to waste to ban these products. As Ejiao has been proven to have absolutely no active ingredients or benefits above any other type of animal-based gelatin, and considering the importance of these animals to some of the poorest communities in Kenya and wider Africa, I urge you to pressure your Chinese counterparts to remove donkey skin products from their official herbal medicines list and alleviate the pressure on donkey populations globally. I'll be grateful for the opportunity to meet with you and discuss my findings and experience with you in person. Best wishes and thanks, Scott. Well, I really hope that someone gets back to me. Fingers crossed. Donkey numbers in Kenya have dropped so drastically that even if families could afford to replace one, there simply aren't enough to go around. Now, the focus is on rescuing donkeys before they reach slaughter. I'm back in Kitui town to meet members of the task force working alongside the Minister of Agriculture. Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you?
How are you? Hi, officer.
Yes, Mr. Scott.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Oh, can you join me doing a patrol?
That'd be great. Yeah.
All right, come.
Thank you. So, officer, what kind of work do you do here in Kitui?
Mr. Scott, our main functions here within Katulani, we are security enforcers. We too normally investigate serious crimes like murder, homicides, human trafficking, money laundering.
Now, I understand that your particular police unit have been very effective in stamping out the donkey skin trade in the area around Kitui. Is it about the fact that if enforcement is rigorous enough, that actually the trade can't exist?
We know about the importance of tangis. That's why we are so strict about anybody we found having injured that animal or use it not in an improper manner. Yes. We can charge them with cruelty to animals. On 25th November 2024, at around 1900 hours, we received intelligent information that there was unknown people which was driving tangis towards our area of jurisdiction. We found that there were 2 male persons whom they had around 41 in numbers.
41?
Yeah.
Wow.
They had no any documentations where they were driving. Because of our daily work, we managed to arrest the culprits, escorted them to police station here in Itolika police station.
Right. With the donkeys as well?
With the tangis, yeah.
Wow.
Including the tangis.
So they had 41 donkeys back at the police station?
Yes.
And what sort of state were the donkeys in when they first arrived?
They were not in good health. Some had fractures. Driving an animal which is injured, that is being a cruel to animal.
Yes, for sure.
It is a criminal offense, and we had to charge the culprits, and also is suspected to have been stolen animals. Because they did not have any documents to show us that they belong to them.
So it was theft as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they go to court and get convicted?
Yeah, they were taken to court and convicted.
This is a really serious group of police officers. They work on homicides, they work on human trafficking, and they're taking the donkey skin trade very, very seriously. Shocking to hear that in just one haul, these officers were able to rescue 41 donkeys on their way to slaughter. So I'm really interested to know what happened to those 40 donkeys.
The 41 rescued donkeys are now under 24-hour surveillance at the Goat and Sheep Project in Kitui, which now doubles as a donkey rescue centre due to growing demand. A dedicated team of vets and carers work to rehabilitate the animals before rehoming them with families who've had their own donkeys stolen. And today, I'm joining the team.
Hi, I'm Scott. Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Musia. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure's
Dr.
ours.
Vincent, nice to meet you, sir.
And to you, and to you.
Yes, great.
You guys are looking after a lot of donkeys at the moment. Are all of these rescue?
Yes, these donkeys have been rescued from bush slaughter. There are 61 donkeys that we're holding here.
So 61 donkeys, and these have all been stolen for the donkey skin trade?
Yes, that we have rescued to give them a second chance from death.
And what sort of state do they come in when they're first rescued?
Some will be off water and feed for even 30 days. And so they come in even in the body condition score. Some like this one here, just close to you can see is quite emaciated. And because they come in with a lot of challenges, some looking very sickly, they'll need to be treated.
And I've certainly seen in the field that these donkeys have a really close relationship with the people that owned them. So they must be emotionally traumatized as well as physically.
Yeah, that's quite right. Donkeys are quite emotional, and yes, they're attached to the owners. And of course, we see that very early when they're rescued, they are in a bad emotional state. And so with time now, we rehabilitate them. Even emotionally now, they get better stable. This setup is actually a second family to them after they've lost their first family. Then they come in here, meet other donkeys also stolen from other areas. So they also get new friends here. And also the workers and the vets that work here, emotionally now they start getting stable. There's even feed, there's water, there's vet care. So that lowers the emotional stress when they come in.
Today, we're giving the donkeys a full checkup, treating wounds, addressing any conditions.
Yeah, you got some conjunctivitis, haven't you?
And giving essential parasite treatment to protect against tick-borne diseases.
Off you go, you're done.
Thank you.
On your way to a rescue home. Yeah.
Great.
Well done.
Good.
For animals that have been stolen and forced to trek for weeks across Kenya, this is the first time in a long while they've received any veterinary care or kindness.
Is it a friend for him to keep him calm and happy? Yeah.
It's impossible to know where any of these 41 donkeys came from, but by microchipping them, we're creating the chance that one day stolen donkeys might be reunited with the families they were taken from.
Yeah, we got mother and baby as next.
Be good. And you're making an interesting noise there, Peter. What's that noise?
It's a common sound that donkeys understand.
I have no idea how you're making that noise. I sound like a pig. I'll work on that. Should I try and see if I can corral baby? That's it. There's a good boy. Well done. Oh, guy. Is there anything more gorgeous than a donkey foal? I don't think so.
Baby, come on.
Hey. And did this little guy get born here at the rescue centre?
Yes, this was born here at the rescue centre.
Wow, that must be amazing that you've saved not one life, but two.
And I will be rehoming them tomorrow.
Really? Tomorrow? I'd love to go and witness that.
You're most welcome to join us.
I met Sylvester and Veronica and I saw how traumatized they were as a result of losing their donkeys. But the joy has returned to that family now that they've had one of these rehomed donkeys. So it's a lovely thing. You've got 61 animals here that potentially will bring 61 times that joy back to the community.
Exactly.
Every new home is carefully vetted by the charity to ensure good welfare standards and that there's proper shelter to help protect the donkey from being stolen again.
Gonna go to a new home tomorrow. Hey, lucky boy. Yeah. The family that these two are going to be going to are so lucky. They're one of the very lucky few that get to benefit from these incredible vets and the work that they're doing here in Kenya. Now you beep. Shaking me quite a bit to have met 61 donkeys that have been rescued from the donkey skin trade. Every single one of these animals would have died an awful death and would have been skinned, potentially their meat sold as well. But thank goodness for this place. This donkey rescue centre has done incredible work to rescue them, rehabilitate them, give them this place to relax again and have community amongst other donkeys before eventually heading off to a new forever home. Donkeys, they mean education, they mean access to water, they mean the ability to care for women's health, both physical and mental. So to bring two animals back to a family that have lost donkeys, I know it's going to be a joyous occasion. I'm so excited this morning. I'm back here at GASP, the Donkey Rescue Centre, to load up two very lucky donkeys and then send them off to a brand new forever home. It's going to be epic. Can't wait. Morning, Vincent. How are you?
Morning, Dr. Scott. How are you?
Yeah, good. Excited for this?
Great to see you.
Yeah, and you,
yes,
and you.
Fine. Yes, just getting ready.
Well, let's go for it. Okie dokie.
Yes,
There you go. This is the best part of the job, I'm sure, is rehoming one of the rescued donkeys.
Yes, the joy of seeing these donkeys have another chance again. Here we are giving them a hope to have a good life in a good home. It's a joyous moment having to see the donkey get back home.
Good morning. How's everyone doing? There's baby.
There's baby. So we'll gently put the halter on. It's okay.
Good girl.
So we are going to try and make the experience not as traumatic and as probably the last time these animals loaded in the truck.
Yes.
Because as they get loaded into those trucks, when they are stolen in the bush, the experience, we don't know how they get in, some at night. So it must be emotionally also traumatizing to them. So that's why even as we do this, we'll try and be as gentle as possible and also as welfare friendly so that the animal has a good experience.
Come on, then.
Let's go. Let's
Come
go.
on. That's the way to freedom, that way.
Good.
Come on.
That's
That's it. We'll just take our time. It's absolutely fine.
Let's also
Come on
get
then.
some friends to escort her there.
Yeah. Gonna go this way?
Let's go.
That's it. Come on then.
Let's
That's
go.
it.
See the friend.
Yes.
The friend is better. Yeah, they can go with the friend up to the truck.
That's good technique. You've done that before.
Yeah. Hao marafiki zao waletwe trucks kwa gari. Where the friends? Fine. Just open your arms like this and then they'll walk gently. Yeah. Yeah. Up to there, open up your arms round. Yeah. Tukuja songa karibu, shika tu hii kamba.
Okay, baby.
Shika tu. Let's try and go.
Yep.
Let's try and go.
Good girl. That's it. Come here.
Good girl.
That's it. That's it.
One more step.
Good. Yep.
Bring the baby.
Yep.
Good. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. They'll get their balance. Fine. Okay, good. Move the circle around. Open up your arms. Circle around the baby. Baby, we can grab and carry you. Okay, let's go. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Shh. Okay, baby.
Wait. So I try and lift her?
Oh, that's good of you. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Great. Okay.
Wow.
Wow,
That's a
now what you
heavy
do?
fall.
Okay. She'll relax anyway. Put up. Careful there. Okay.
Never lifted up a donkey before. It's a new kind of gym workout. Okay. Yeah, they do seem much calmer now. They settled very quickly together. Girls are absolutely beautiful in there, hey? Once you get over those nerves, you'll be excited for the new home. Yes. No, I'm not supposed to name them, but I feel mum's called Hope and baby's called Joy. I think that sums it up. It's a 45-minute journey to the neighbouring village, where new owners Angeline and Alex are eagerly awaiting their arrivals. Their donkey was stolen 5 years ago, and they've never been able to replace it. They've been relying on the kindness of neighbours ever since, to loan donkeys to help fetch water and earn a living. So we're just on the way to the village with the donkeys all loaded up in the back. They seem actually really pretty settled. Mum's nibbling away and little foal has had a little bit of a drink from Mum. So far so good. I'm sure the donkeys will be very happy to get to their new forever home. Very exciting. So today, the whole village has come out to celebrate. Well, that was joyful, wasn't it? That was absolutely amazing. Just how important the donkey is to women. And that the informer who was so brave in telling the Brooke and their partners that these donkeys were stolen has meant that these donkeys can go back to this incredible community. And to see Angeline and the beautiful smile on her face, heaven. Hey! Well done, Mace. This is all the culmination of all of your great work. What a joyful experience. Unbelievable.
You can see the whole village is here, actually.
Oh, yeah.
To welcome the donkey.
And it just shows how grateful they are. And that's not lost in translation, is it?
Amazing.
Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
She's lovely.
Let's try again.
Hey. Well done. Well done. Amazing. After celebrating this joyous event with this community, it just shows how much donkeys mean to working communities here in Kenya and in Africa. This has been a life-changing week for me because I've understood a problem that I didn't really know existed before I got here to Kenya. The donkey skin trade is horrific, and it's impacted so many of the poorest communities here in Kenya. And working with all the organizations and the various charities that are trying to champion the end of the donkey skin trade is just so important, particularly when you meet people like Alex and Angeline and the joy of having not just one, but two again. So it's been a hell of a journey. And although there has been massive strides made, there's still a lot more work to do to stamp out the donkey skin trade.
Yeah, this is ours.
This is my donkey.